Interestingly, data shows that more than 60% of Americans are living from paycheck to paycheck. The thing that shocks me the most is that 36% of them earn more than $200,000. People are earning more than $200,000, but they are living from paycheck to paycheck. And do you know that there are other people who are earning like $30,000, but they are not living from paycheck to paycheck? What is it that is making the difference between these people? Is financial literacy. You need to understand your finance. You need to understand where your money is coming from and where your money is going. This information is what is going to keep you above 75% of the people. So I want you to stay tuned, because I will not only reveal how to make money, how to save money, I will also review a powerful strategy that you can use to start managing your debts and also protecting your investment. And at the end, I'm going to show a golden rule that could change everything for you. The first thing I want to begin by talking about is that when you understand financial literacy, it saves you a whole lot. It's because it's going to help you to effectively manage your money and your resources. So this involves skills like budgeting. So budgeting just means you understanding how much is coming in, how much is going out, and how you are using that money, right? But sometimes we get so caught up, we start thinking that is so much math, but that is not the situation. My goal is to help simplify everything for you. So when you are financially literate, it helps you to be able to make informed decisions that align with your goals. I know of a friend, let's just call her Jackie. Jackie's financial situation is almost like any basic person that we see today, living from paycheck to paycheck. When Jackie went to school, she took so much loan to be able to pay her fees, to be able to pay her tuition to go to school. And her goal had always been like, okay, after graduation, I'll be able to start saving some money. But when she graduated, Jackie started telling herself the amount of money she's making is so small. So it doesn't matter that when she gets a raise, then she'll be able to save. But every time her income increases, guess what happens? Her spending also increases. Jackie goes to the shop, they propose to her, if you take this credit card, then you are going to be able to make this percentage off. Guess what? Jackie takes a credit card and then Jackie doesn't pay. Then now it keeps accumulating. So Jackie has gotten to the point in her life where she is swamped with debt, because she has student loan, she has credit card debt, she has her mortgage that she's paying, and Jackie's life is so overwhelmed. Even at the end of every month, because of the financial choices that Jackie has made in life, now she lives from paycheck to paycheck. It's not even just that, because she is at a minus. By the time the month ends, Jackie is trying to pay all the bills that she has already accumulated, and there's no way she can pay all, right? And so Jackie is finding herself in that position where she's living from paycheck to paycheck. Every month she's so confused, and now it's causing her health, it's causing her to become depressed, it's affecting her relationship with her husband, it's affecting her relationship with her children. And overcomers, there are so many of us in that situation. But my goal is to uncover all these things and help us to be able to make more money, to be able to save more money, and to be able to invest more money. So I have a free template that I'm going to link down below, so you can go ahead and download that template, and then it's going to help you to start tracking your income. Why did Jackie get to this point? Because she's not financially literate. But our goal is to help Jackie to be able to come out of this situation where she finds herself. And for Jackie to be able to succeed, she must intentionally start understanding how to manage her finance. Otherwise, even if Jackie is making $200,000 like the people we saw from the beginning, she will still live from paycheck to paycheck. So now Jackie has to set financial goals. So what does it mean to set financial goals? You just need to know, okay, if I want to go on a vacation in 2 years' time, right? What am I going to do? So you plan already ahead of time, and let's assume that it's going to cost you $1,200. And so there are 24 months inside the next 2 years. So you can decide that every month I'm going to save $50 toward that vacation. And when you start doing that, you start saving that money. So by the time the vacation time comes, then you are not going to be stressed up to start figuring out, where am I going to get this money? Why? Because you had planned it from the beginning. That is called a short-term saving. So you can set two types of financial goals. There is short term and there is long term. So if you want to go like for a vacation, that is like a short term saving. And if you want to buy something like a house, you can plan a long term saving. The next important thing that you have to do is to create a budget. The irony is that I used to think that budgeting is for people who are very rich, but that's not true. Budgeting is for everyone. It's a habit that we have to build. So what is actually budgeting? A budget is just a plan that outlines your income. What is it that is coming in, and your expenditure? What is it that is going out? So this budget just helps you to be able to control your finance. It helps you to be able to take charge of your finance. When I coach people, I realize that people have the impression that when you have a budget, it deprives you from achieving some things in life. That is a huge misconception. A budget gives you control over your finance. A budget helps you to know, where is my $10 going? Where is my $500 going? Without a budget, you don't have that information. And at the end of the month, have you seen people who earn money, right? At the end of the month, they're asking themselves, oh, I had $3,000, but where did this money go? People will receive extra money, let's say stimulus check, right? And at the end of the month, they are like, I received $5,000, but how did I use that money? Where did it go? Why? Because they had no budget. They had no plan. And that money just went like that. The next thing that I want us to know is to understand income. So when you understand the different type of incomes, it's going to help you to be able to make better financial decisions. There are 7 main types of income. The first one is earned income. So earned income is what everybody has to start with. So assuming that maybe you are working for 40 hours a week and then you are earning $60,000 a year, that is earned income, right? Now, but with that kind of income, it's very hard for you to get to the point of financial freedom because there is only so much hour that you can work in a day. So even if you keep increasing your hour and you keep taking more money, you will never get to that point where you'll be financially free. But of course, that is where everybody should start. So the next type of income is called passive income. So passive income is something that you put something up front for some time. After some time, you start making some money that you are not putting in that same effort, right? For example, you start a digital business, spend so much time and create that product. After 3 months, you can start making money from your product. You see that the money you are going to be making is not going to be translated to your time in any way. Another thing is, let's say you have a certain amount of money, let's say 1,000, you invest that money, then the money starts growing in a compounding rate. We are going to talk about that again. As that money is growing, then that's just money you are earning passively. It's not as if you are doing anything to be able to earn that money, but you had put in something, either investing your money or investing your time from the beginning. There is also portfolio income. So this is income that you derive from your investment, right? So you could invest in stocks, you could invest in mutual funds, you could invest in bonds. So when you put this investment, you have this portfolio. So the returns you get from there is portfolio income. So the next income is business income. So this is like profit that you make from a business you start. So you start your business, you put in some investment, you can buy things. So let's say you buy something and then you sell it. So the difference between what you bought and what you sell, that's a business income. So the next thing is rental income. So people, you can rent your space. Maybe you have an empty garage, you can rent it to someone. Maybe you rent your car, maybe you have an apartment you are renting, real estate, anything that has to do with rent is rental income. So then there is also royalty income. So royalty income is just income that someone pays you for the right to use something that you have. So let's say you have your music, you have your photo, and then someone pays you to use that photo, to use that thing that you have. So, and the last income that I want to talk about is dividends income. So assuming that you go to Apple and then you buy shares from Apple. So when Apple makes profit, Apple is going to share this profit to all its stakeholders, to people who have shares in Apple. And so that is called dividends. So the share that you are going to get is a dividend income. When you understand these 7 different types of incomes, then it's going to help you to know what kind of income are you actually making. How can you diversify your income? How can you earn these 7 different types of income? So this knowledge is so amazing because it's going to help you to be able to move forward. I want you to put in the comment section of our comment, what kind of incomes do you already have and what kind of incomes do you want me to help you grow? So the next thing I want to talk about is managing your expenses. Every one of us has expenses, but how do you manage them? So it's important to take note of wants and needs. What are the things that are necessity in your life, right? And what are the things that you just buy for luxury purposes? When I bought this water bottle, right, I started regretting it. I was like, I already have like 5 different water bottles. Why am I buying this other one? So there are some things in life that I need, some other things I want. Did I actually need that water bottle? The true answer is no, I didn't. When you are able to write down your expenses, I'm going to have a free form down below that you can download, and that is going to be able to help you to record your income and your expenses. When you are able to record your expenses and then you see exactly what you are spending money on, at the end of the month you can track it and say, okay, what did I actually spend my money on? What are the things that I bought? Were they necessary? Were they not necessary? And that is how you can start getting to that point of financial freedom, because you are able to take control over your finance. You are able to know what you are spending money on. For example, when I started my financial journey, I wrote down everything I was spending money on, and I realized that there were so many subscriptions, and I was paying almost $300 per month on subscriptions that I was not even using. And if I did not do that, maybe I would have paid those things for so long. I had to go and cancel all those subscriptions. How many of us are having subscriptions that we are not actually using, yet we are paying for them monthly? And then when you even make those cancellations like that, that $300, you could take it now and put into your credit card, right? And so you see that you reduce like your credit card debt for $300, something that you were wasting. And this is a picture that came to my mind. You see how when you go to the shop, you buy some things. Let's say you buy fruits or some vegetables. You bring it to the house, put it in the fridge, and then maybe after some time, you've not had time to cook that food, and then it gets bad. You take that vegetable and that food and you put in the trash. Now, I came to realize that that money, that thing that we are trashing, is actually money. Sometimes we are not conscious that it's money. But when you start literally looking at it that, wow, this is money I'm trashing in the trash, you start being conscious of the things that you are actually buying. So take it as your first challenge on this financial journey to take your time and really record down your expenses and know where your money is going. So the next thing I want to talk about is that when you want to grow your finance, you need to learn how to save money. There is like a 20, 30, 50 budgeting rule. And I'm going to explain all these things in details as we continue to move on with the videos. So you can subscribe if you've not yet subscribed so that you'll be able to follow up. The 50, 30, 20 rule just means that 50% of your money can go like to your necessity. Then 30% can just go to your luxurious things. Let's say you decide that you want to go and eat out. And then 20% now can go to saving. So there are many other things that we are going to learn as we go along the line. One thing that I want you to know is that sometimes maybe when you start on your financial journey, that's how it happened to me. You might not even be able to save that 20% because you'll be trying to pay debts, right? But that knowledge itself keeps you way ahead of 75% of the people, because most of the people are not doing this. So one thing that I've come to learn on my journey is that saving is a habit. If you don't develop it, you are not going to understand it. Let me show you something that brought like a complete switch to my financial understanding, right? Sometimes most of us, we say, oh, I don't want to save now. I want to wait until I have more money. I don't want to save now, but we don't understand the repercussion of what we are doing. So let's just assume that you have $1,000 and then you save that money for 20 years, that $1,000. Assuming that you took that $1,000 and put under your mattress for 20 years, this is what will happen. At the end of those 20 years, you still have your $1,000. But guess what? Inflation must have also eaten into that money. Assuming that you are able to buy a phone now for $1,000, but in those 20 years to come, you will not be able to buy a phone for $1,000. Maybe a phone will be costing maybe $2,000. $1,000 that you save for 20 years under your mattress, the value would have diminished. Assuming that you invest that money in a place where you can have up to 10% interest rate, this is just to help you understand things, then you will see that that $1,000, it would have grown interest. So this is interest that will be on that original $1,000. But then there is also going to be compound interest. So what happens is that that $1,000, assuming it's 10%, then at the end of the first year, you will not only have $1,000, you will have $1,100, because 10% of $1,000 is 100. Then that 100 now plus the original money. So the second year now, what will you have? You will have a total of 1,100, and then it keeps continuing like that. So you see that it will keep compounding. So the interest that has compound for those 20 years, this is what is going to be. So you can see that the compound interest is even far more. So look at the original amount, but look at the interest that you would have made. So now tell me, overcomers, if we don't understand this, we take our money, maybe we are spending money and we keep saying, no, I want to wait until when I'm 20 years or when I have this amount of money, then I start saving. The earlier you start saving, the better, because of compound interest. The next thing I want to talk about is building credit. So when I came from Africa, I really didn't know much about credit card and all of this. So I was always like, no, I don't want credit card. I don't want to do that. And then guess what? I went and took credit card and I started spending all the credit card. I got myself into so much debt. And it was only after when I started my financial journey, then I realized, oh, this was wrong. For you to be able to do some things, you need to learn how to build your credit, because that's how investors are going to trust you, that, oh, this person, they are able to borrow money and they are able to give back. So let's assume that you want to buy a house and then you need someone to finance that house. They must see that track record that you've been borrowing and you've been paying. There are so many different versions of all of this. As children of God, are we meant to borrow? The Bible says that we are going to be lenders. Are we going to be borrowers? But one thing that I have come to realize is that even if you have a $1,000 credit card, right? Some people go and max their limit. What you can do is that just believe in your mind that you have like $300 in that card. So use everything that is below $300. At the end of the month, you pay the $300 so that you are not owing anybody money and you are not paying interest on that credit card, because some people think that, oh, they want to build credit history and then they end up paying thousands of dollars for interest, because that's how the credit card companies make their money. So you have to be wise. So if you want to work on your finances, I'm going to put a free planner down below. So go ahead and download it and then start on your journey. So the next thing I want to talk about is that when you are already in debts, how do you manage these debts that you have? So start by paying the debts that has very high interest rate. And so when you pay those ones off first, then you go and pay the other ones that have lower interest rate. There are many different versions of this. That's the best way to be able to reduce your money so that you are not paying so much interest and wasting money. But some people also believe that it's better for you to start with the smallest amount so that you clear it, so your mind will start thinking, okay, now this debt is gone, just these two are left. So it depends on how you are able to handle debt. But the important thing is that you need to be aware and then start making these changes. So the next thing we want to talk about is investment. So when you have all the knowledge we've talked about, another thing is investment. So there are different types of investment. You can invest money for emergency. If something happens to you today, let's say your car breaks down, what are you going to do? Are you going to go straight to credit card? Do you have any money that you've already saved that if something happened as an emergency? It's always recommended to have like 6 months of investment. But overcomers, imagine, look at the statistics that we look at from the beginning. If people are living paycheck to paycheck, how are they going to be able to save that amount of money? And interestingly, overcomers, can you imagine that 44% of Americans are not able to cover an emergency bill that cost them $1,000. 44% of Americans don't even have $1,000. If something happens, they are not able to cover that expense. And so that is why we need to arise and start working on our finances. So the next thing I want to talk about is protection. Sometimes we don't understand, but if you have things like insurance on your car, if an accident occurs, for example, then the insurance company is going to pay, right? But if you did not have that protection, what will happen? Then you will start struggling. You will start from square zero. So those protections are always very good. At first, I used to be like, wow, why will I be paying insurance for this car until when I'm not even using it? That's the mindset we have. But as we start working on our finances, we'll see that it's very valuable. The next thing I want to talk about is that you have to continue to learn. This financial journey is something that you have to keep learning every day. And if you are not intentional, if you don't start learning, then your financial life is not going to change. You are going to keep living from paycheck to paycheck and things will not change. So you might think that, oh, I don't know anything. I don't know how to do all these things that Delphine is talking about here. Yes, it's true. Everyone starts from somewhere. I told you from the beginning, I did finance. After that, I did chartered accountancy. Even though I had all this knowledge that was related to finance, I was not actually putting these things into practice. I was not doing them. Not because I didn't know, But because I was not even taught, I didn't even think that is something you can do for your finances. And so you can see the statistics out there, right? So don't think you are alone. You are not alone. But when you take those steps, you keep learning, you start learning intentionally, and taking those steps, you'll be able to learn how to make more money, how to save more money, and how to invest your money. You have to start building your financial future, and the time is now. It's never too late. So if you look at that compounding thing that I showed you, and that's how we also grow in knowledge. As we start learning, your knowledge compounds. Like now, when I talk with my students and they just give me an idea, I'm like, okay, you can do this. Why? Because my knowledge has compounded. I've learned for some time and I already understand so much. So I can easily figure out something that somebody who is still at the beginning stage of their journey will not be able to figure out. So now, the last thing that I'm going to talk about is the golden rule. So the golden rule, even if you don't take anything out of this video, I want you to know that the golden rule says that you should spend less than you earn. If you are spending less than you are earning, then this difference is going to be something that you are able to save. Sometimes I meet with people and they are like, no, my expenses are already way more than my income. What do I do? Now, the next thing is to try to make more money. That's where side hustles come in. You can go ahead and watch this next video that will show you exactly a side hustle that you can start as a complete beginner. So overcomers, I'm going to see you in that video. So I'm going to see you in the next video. Love you all so much.
It's been a while since we laid down to reflect upon